these plays are so important is because regardless of your political beliefs, where you stand, your way of life, it's probably in the audience, everyone is probably so different in no matter what they do, but it kind of allows us to go beyond that and just basically everyone, the whole audience together in a darkened room, able to watch these human emotions and these real human struggles play out.
Order up, I'm high on the menu.
But make sure she comes with everything. It's not in sync.
Little voice screaming now.
I want.
Put her down, slap her down.
Strap her down.
Downwind.
The wheels are in motion.
Men don't believe you or think that you're maybe exaggerating, or a lot of the time are actually shocked to learn about what women deal with on a day-to-day basis. And to be fair, men experience this sort of sexual harassment as well. And it's not limited to just, pretty women in their 20s that are receiving catcalls on the street. This really spreads to young boys and girls who are trying to live their daily childhood lives. This spreads to women and men that are in their 50s and 60s and still experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace or in their daily lives.
Before I know it, he's all over me. His smelly breath is choking me. Clammy hands are fondling me. I thought for sure he was gonna rape me. What saved me is someone knocked on the door and startled him. So he jumped up and I ran out of there like a bat out of hell. Just thinking about it now makes me cringe.
It's such a relevant, movement and topic in conversation today in so many different industries and across the world.
So I was really excited when I heard about this project. Doing these plays have been so amazing, hearing about other people's ideas.
Being able to think about, do I ever, act that way? And have I ever acted that way? And if so, how can I reprimand that? How can I do better? And I think it's so important to continually be in conversation about these questions. Being a part of this play in particular, it was so terrifying to me when I first read it. Probably the most terrifying play I've ever read. Because it's just so brutal and it doesn't apologize for anything.
So now I have to smash your face in. Aren't you afraid?
Of course, yes.
You never look afraid.
I'm a receptionist.
It's hard to stop hitting someone who's just standing there looking normal.
And apparently there is a hashtag movement where women tell their stories. Yeah, I'll show you on my new phone at Bridge.
To be honest, the world isn't a perfect place. And they're not educated enough about this. I don't believe any of us are. I think our education system needs to change, and I think it needs to grow and evolve. I know that, human beings need to be taught what's right and wrong.
What if I get raped?
Raped?
You heard how he talked. You heard what he said about all the women he raped or tried to.
That has got nothing to do with you. We don't even know if it's true.
1 out of every 4 girls gets sexually assaulted in college. That's a fact.
And I think it's really important that we're doing plays about the Me Too movement, because I think it's a time that a lot of deeply buried stuff is coming to the surface for people personally and collectively, and I think that the theater is a really good place in which to process it and start some dialogue around it.
Once Upon a Time's Up takes from the folktale of Cinderella and I think introduces the conflict of Prince Charming as a sort of charlatan, which results in his accidental death when Cinderella is forced into a position where she has to use physical self-defense.
He didn't take no for an answer. I tried to get him to stop, but he wouldn't. At some point, my shoe fell off, so I used that to push him off, and well, there you go.
So hashtag #MeToo is more than just a hashtag to me now, especially after the show. It is a symbol of unity and fighting for what's right for everyone across the world. And the fact that these plays were about these so many different walks of life. There was a play about something here, there's a play about something there. It's not just about specific things, it's about everywhere people could have experienced this.
And it's really just, it's been time. It's been time to really get rid of this kind of attitude towards people. There's no room for it in this world anymore. And I think that the play reading series, the hashtag #MeToo plays, it's another form of conversation that's bringing to light this sort of movement.
It takes a lot of courage to own your story and to be able to tell it and speak up about it, and I really admire those that do. And so I would say, keep it's difficult, but keep up the good fight. By doing this, you are empowering others and breaking down these systems of silence and complicity that make this stuff happen.
Speak to your manager. I was almost afraid to go into her office. I was afraid she was going to come right out and order me to have sex with her.
Oh yeah, boy, I'd be terrified.
She was messing with my head, and she liked it. The more I squirmed, the more she liked it. And then this morning, it finally happened.
That sexual harassment is someone leveraging power in a way that's inappropriate, and that it's complex, and that people get away with it partly because when you read these men, usually men, responding to sexual harassment, what they almost always say is, I never attacked anyone. And they have this idea that if there's no physical force, that coercion didn't happen. So what I want to say is that you can coerce somebody in ways that are not physical, in ways that have to do with leveraging power and leveraging job opportunities. And that's wrong. So that's what I want people to take away from it, that sense that it's not always a physical coercion. There's a power coercion, and also that it also matters how we respond to it, as both as victims and as witnesses.
And so I'm very happy that people are speaking up more, and I don't like when people are condemned because they take so long to say something. It's not easy to say these things that has happened to them. It's not easy to show proof all the time. It's not easy to say, yes, this happened to me too, and that's why I think this Me Too congregation came together, to show that there's a supportive system, that you're not the only one alone. It has happened to you, it happened to me, it happens to our sister and our brother who's right next to us, and so I do have a lot of hope that there might be a change.
It's necessary. It's time. Too many of us have experienced pain and trauma and have to live with it all the time. Too many of us have lost friendships and relationships and have been put into really difficult positions at work because they're not being treated fairly. So I really truly believe in this movement, and I think that we all need to stand up and bring our voices together. And we all need to continue speaking about this, because this is not going to end with just one simple artistic project. It's not going to end with one conversation. However, we can try to end it. We have to begin somewhere. It starts now.
The world isn't a perfect place, and it's a pretty brutal place. And I think that it's really crucial that it's all coming out. And I think it's great that it's all coming out so we can make a better world and better circumstances and better experiences for everybody.
You do right by that poor woman. You do whatever you have to do to get the army off her. If there were other women, you'd have to understand. You understand.
I know. But believe this.
If you don't, I'll turn you in myself. But listen to me.
I'm your husband!
The Me Too plays really affected me on a creative level. I was able to look back on, I didn't really have a choice about it, how to delve into the character, and also just witnessing and the interactions between the characters in the other plays. I began to question my own experiences in over the past 10 years, really, since I, was a kid. What is a Me Too moment? A moment, right? Is it any moment that you felt threatened or less than because of your, I don't know, your relationship with that person? I've always questioned this. Am I in the right? Am I in the wrong? It's so important to have a platform to which people can talk about this, because there is no answer. There's a million answers, and we all need to hear each other's answers and each other's stories. So that we can feel less alone, really. That's all that matters, I think, at the end of the day.